Assassination of Abraham Lincoln by John Wilkes Booth. Everyone's heard of it, some studied it more than others, but how deep does the rabbit hole go? If that's the question on your mind, my friend, Manhunt is the show made just for you.
Freedom for the soul!
Hey, I'm Robin, I love history, but I'm bad at watching movies, so here we talk about historical film and TV. This 7-episode miniseries runs on a fairly simple structure: the events leading up to the assassination, the felony itself, the hunt for John Booth, and the final trial of the conspirators. Except it does rely on a hefty number of flashbacks, but to the show's credit, it doesn't suffer from Christopher Nolan's syndrome when you constantly wonder where the hell on the timeline am I and dreading the next time jump. I'm being dramatic, of course, I love Nolan's work, but you get my point. Could the show be squeezed into more standard 6-episode format? I personally think so, but at the expense of shaving off some of the extensive political talk, which in essence is the core of the show. So if you, my friend, are signing up for just John Booth Hunt, you've been warned. It does help that the story is told from the perspective of Edwin Stanton, US Secretary of War, played by one of the British powerhouse actors, Tobias Menzies, who is no new to playing historical characters, and here in Manhunt he cranks it up to 11 again, just by using his presence and his voice.
Go on.
Fun fact, an engraved portrait of Stanton appears on the US $1 banknotes known as Treasury notes of 1890 and 1891. By many, they are considered one of those finest examples of engravings ever made on the paper notes. I'm not saying they're worth millions, but I saw the other day one on eBay for about $800. Just to be clear, there's plenty of coverage of Booth's perspective, and I really like that the show spent some quality time developing Mary Sims' character, who was a former enslaved woman running into Booth during his escape. I felt like it gave that extra dimension to the show that it needed not ever to get stale. In general, I felt like Manhunt does a pretty good job flashing out not so glamorous transition of a still polarized society that is exiting the Civil War and entering Reconstruction. I learned quite a bit personally. How is historical accuracy? Well, apparently it's on the upper scale. I say apparently because all I had to answer to my historical teacher back in Soviet Union that North won, South lost, slavery was abolished, Lincoln was greatly mourned, and now he belongs to the ages, and the fact that John Booth was actually an actor, I learned from Zoolander movie. Historical purists might be upset that in the show he enters from the right side of the theater booth instead of the left, and a couple of other facts, but if you're pitching this kind of show to a wider audience, or hoping for the wider audience, I don't think it's a make or break kind of deal. Quality-wise, Manhunt is like a well thought through, nicely wrapped gift. I was watching it parallel to Shogun, and I was like proud of 2024 historical TV shows that are coming out. Authenticity and everything about it is just top notch. And if you are an American, this gift will make you proud of your country by the end, I promise you that. So if Manhunt is focused so specifically on one topic, who is it really for? Well, I firmly believe that it's at least for those people who don't know maybe too much about Lincoln's assassination and are willing to learn through a great storytelling and a great quality TV shows like your humble servant here, and even for those history nerds who do know a lot about it, but they are hungry for some sort of a visual stimulus to get those juicy discussions going. You know, Manhunt reminded me of those little precious finds I used to dig out at the scrap metal dump when I was a kid, and then I brought them home, and maybe not everybody appreciated them, but they made my day. Thanks so much for sticking around, and I'll see you in the next one.